Welcome back. You are watching Marvel Live here at Comic-Con 2019. I'm Ryan, a.k.a. Agent M. Delighted to be joined by Brendon Small. How you doing, Brendon?
I'm good. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
There's a whole bunch of things we're going to talk about.
Sure. Why
but
not?
Home movies.
Yes.
20th anniversary.
Yes.
Very exciting.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So yesterday we did a 20th anniversary panel. We've never done a panel.
Ever.
The show is crazy.
Well,
it became very popular just about the time it was canceled, and then the DVDs came out by Shout Factory, so they ignited a popularity that wasn't there beforehand. It took a while. Maybe we were ahead of our time. Maybe we were so annoying that you had to really get into it to understand who we were. But we were all proud of the show, and 20 years went by. 1999 is when it came out, the year of the Phantom Menace, the year of the Matrix, and then us. Two of those were successful.
Yeah.
Third one wasn't. So we went and did, had a full panel, and it was really fun to hang out with Melissa Galsky, John Benjamin, and Lauren Bouchard. So that was a real treat. It was mostly for us, I think. Yeah. So
but
that was
sure
nice.
The crowd was there. Everybody was like, and think of how many projects people get to do that are great, they love. 20 years later, they're not doing reunions of those necessarily. This is something that you're actually able to do.
We got to remain alive long enough to have 20 years
Congratulations.
happen. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we didn't do anything stupid. That's nice. Yet. But we did the 20 years. So I thought, we'd either do 20 years or we do 40. We're not doing 50. Yeah.
50's out.
Yeah, but we're not doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really great. So it was a real treat just to hang out and goof off and reminisce.
Have you been able to work with those folks in other projects at various different times?
I wrote the theme song for John Benjamin Has a Van, which was on Comedy Central. The strange story is that there's a character named Dwayne on the show who's a guitar player, and there's a lot of music that kind of came out of that character, which would later kind of evolve into Metalocalypse and Dethklok. But the funny part is Melissa now has a son who's around 15, 16 years old, who is now a guitar lunatic, and I have been going back and teaching him guitar stuff, and he's really good.
It's amazing.
And it's really cool to so that's I guess a collaboration, but a continuing thing. So every time I talk about guitars, I go, hey, send him a picture. Here's a prototype of something I'm doing with the Epiphone guitars. Tell him to check it out. Look, it's got this, that, the other thing, and he's like, that's pretty cool. And so that's neat. And then I see those guys all the time. Sure. We're on the same, and then all the guys from Bob's are my old roommates and friends and all that stuff. So I mean, I see a lot of those guys.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. They're not so distant from me. Yeah.
Now you mentioned Dethklok.
Yes.
And so that's pretty cool. That's fun. Talking about bringing stuff back that people love.
Yeah.
There's going to be some fun Dethklok action later.
There is a Dethklok show this year, which is November 15th at the Bank of California in Los Angeles. And we're bringing the band back together to do this show. So it's really exciting. We're headlining the Friday night Adult Swim Presents thing.
Okay.
So we're excited. And I got to dust off the fingers, get them ready.
I cannot play a musical instrument for the life of me. But
Yes.
my wife plays bass and guitar and flute, and she's great. And so I listen to her play. I'm like, oh, cool, magic. And I watch people do this stuff. Is it easy to, especially songs that are virtuosic in a lot of ways, actually your muscle memory just come back?
It's funny. Every time I write a song and record a song, I forget it almost immediately because I learn it well enough to be able to record it and try to play it as cleanly as possible. And then immediately after, I'm on to the next song. So I've written a lot of music over the years, especially starting with home movies, the Kafka rock opera into Dethklok, and I wrote, there's new music, there's original music in every single episode of Metalocalypse, and it wasn't hard to do. It's a little tedious, a little time consuming, but there's no way I'm going to remember that stuff. And I was listening to one of the songs, I was listening to my iPod driving down here, and on shuffle, and one of my own songs came up, and I had to sit and think for a while. How I don't know how to play this thing, so I'll have to sit down and get into it, and hopefully what you're talking about, the muscle memory thing, kicks in. But I hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be embarrassing for myself and the audience. I've got a couple months.
A little time.
I've got enough time.
A little time.
I've got enough time.
Is metal your go-to genre?
I love
metal. You mentioned before we started talking, like you're doing something with Megadeth.
Yes.
Satriani. Satriani is sort of not quite metal. But like.
So I'm doing literary projects with those guys, but
got it.
I love. Look, you're allowed to listen to everything, you know, and you can't just. I think about animation. People ask me all the time, "What's your favorite animation?" I go, I tend to stay away from it because if you work at a chocolate shop all day, you don't want to go home and eat chocolate. You know, you want to eat something savory. So I like balancing things out. I'll listen to like composers. I'll listen to really good songwriters. I will listen to anybody, and it doesn't matter what the genre is. If the song is there, I'm there.
Yeah.
So I listen to everything from like Steely Dan to Cannibal Corpse. I'm there. You know.
I want that shuffle, like to go from Steely Dan and just like.
It's really refreshing on the air. Actually, really, if you haven't done that, it's a really wonderful thing.
I've been on
that's like Aaron Copland to Schoenberg to whatever. Yeah.
I've been on an Akira Ifukube kick lately of just like Toho, Godzilla, monster movies, because that helps me, especially in planning Comic-Con. That helps me work because it's just like
it's marches and dramatic marches. Well, here's a crazy coincidence. You just mentioned Godzilla. I played guitar in the movie Godzilla
on the
newest
song with Serge and
with Serge and Bear McCreary.
I've listened to that song so many times
on guitar,
which I love.
Yeah.
Did you see the sing along at G Fest?
I did see that.
I
was tagged in one of those things from Bear and Serge and all those guys. So that's like half of Dethklok / Galacticon playing the rhythm section. Yeah. If you stay to the credits of Godzilla King of Monsters, you will hear my guitar, a bunch of Asian men chanting, an orchestra, Gene Hoglan on drums, Brian Beller on bass, Serge from System of a Down, and my stupid hands. Yeah. So that's a pretty fun, exciting thing. And I've done some other things with Bear in the past too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can fans find more about like the schedule, the events, different projects you're working on? Especially you mentioned the literary projects.
Yes.
Is there a repository?
Well, okay, yeah. You can go to either follow me on Twitter. At _Brendon Small, BRENDON, or go to galacticon.com, which is the other project, and that's one of the main reasons I'm here to sell the trade paperback, which is with Eric Powell from The Goon, and he's an amazing dude. So I'll be doing a signing tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Check my Twitter to make sure, but it's booth 2207.
Okay.
And then I'll be hanging out with all my friends and all that stuff. So it's definitely galacticon.com to check out.
Easy.
And Heavy Metal magazine too. So I wrote an issue for the new Megadeth gigantic book, which is really cool. And then I did something with Joe Satriani that we're going to start talking about a little bit more next week. But that turned out really cool with Heavy Metal magazine as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Brendon, thank you for coming tomorrow live.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned for so much more.